In the last video, we started our look at working with the curve editor, in which we learned how to target an area of the instrument that the curve would affect, as well as looking at which part of the targeted area to articulate. In this video, we are going to look more closely at the actual editor. We will look at how to add and remove edit points from the curves, as well as looking at the various curve shapes that are available from these edit points. We will start with some editor basics, and as such, I'll be using the keyboard mapping articulation editor in this video, as the points we cover here will be relevant to all editors. We'll look at specific features for each articulation type later on. So let's start with edit points. Edit points are used to create the shape of the envelope curve. Without them, the curve would be a straight line. By default, there are 2 edit points on every curve, one at the start and one at the end. Of course, if you are looking at a preset, then there's a good chance that you'll have already more added. Thus, I'll first demonstrate how to reset the editor. This will show you how to start from a clean palette when creating your own envelope, as well as the default edit point placement. To reset the editor and its curve, from the editor's option menu, select Reset. The editor will now show you the default state, which has the aforementioned 2 edit points. So now let's take a look at add-in points. To do this, right-click on anywhere you wish to add a point, and it'll appear. You can now move this point around the edit window by clicking and dragging to the desired location. Now that we have an edit point and placed it where we want it, let's take a look at some of the options that will control the shape of the curve between this and the preceding edit point. By right-clicking on the existing edit point, a pop-up menu will appear. From here, there are a handful of curve shapes, but before we dive into the various shapes, let's take a look at how we can edit the shape. To alter the shape of a curve, we use the tension handles that are located between the 2 edit points. By default, the tension is set to linear, meaning that unless we change the tension point, there will be a simple linear line between the 2 points. If I am to click and drag the tension point up or down, you can see the effect that it has on the shape of the curve. As you can see, the tension alters the shape of the curve, so let's take a look at some of the curve shapes. Again, right-click on the existing edit point. The default shape is a single curve. By moving the tension point up or down, we'll change the characteristics of the curve. By moving the steeper portion of the curve to either the left or right of the tension point, depending on the position of the following edit point. The next curve type is double line, which when adjusting the tension point will alter the curve shape on both sides of the tension point. The Alt single line curve and Alt double line curve will work in the same manner as the previous 2 shapes, except that the steepness of the lines they create are less. The hold curve will create a drastic 90-degree change to the curve at the edit point position. Here, the tension point will not affect the shape of the curve. In fact, there will be no tension point at all. Stairs will create a series of steep 90-degree changes between the 2 edit points. Use the tension point to control the number of steps that are in the stairs. The smooth stairs acts as the same as the stairs, except the shape of the stairs are less drastic and are not 90-degree changes. The pulse shape will build a series of 90 degrees upward and downward pulses between the 2 edit points. Use the tension point to control the number of pulses between the 2 points. The wave shape will create a triangle wave between the 2 points. Use the tension point to control the frequency of this triangle wave. The half sine shape is just that, a curve that resembles half a cycle from a sine wave. The tension point will control the shape of the curve. Right-click on the tension to reset the shape of any of these curves. So in this video, we started our look at the envelope editor and the edit points. We also looked at the various curve shapes for these edit points. In the next video, we'll continue our look at the envelope editor and its options menu, the freeze feature, and more.